Wow. Series of top decks there. Yeah, that Broodmate Dragon, Orsini Jones had to draw Sculler pretty much right there. That Broodmate Dragon was going to be gigantic.
So the Siege still has...
He's got a turn.
Here.
Right. I mean, there's 3 power.
2 turns to die.
Right. So the Mutavaults have been shut off by the Pithing Needle, but here comes Tide Hollow Sculler and Borrington Furge Tender. Nassif is down to 2. Needs to come up with some answer. So,
Knight of Meadowgrain.
Knight of Meadowgrain.
Broken Ambitions.
Which is going to get Broken Ambitions, which means he can clash, gets to look at an extra card.
It's true. Esper Charm. I guess a Path to Exile.
Yeah, I'm going to keep.
So Gabe keeps.
Gabe keeps his. He figures that's 2 cards.
Yeah, he can draw, but does he have enough land to draw a dragon?
Good.
Or draw Cruel Ultimatum? No.
No, but he can draw a Wall of Reverence.
Can draw Wall of Reverence.
I'm going to draw 2.
He's got 5 lands, right?
Oh, he does have 1 more Broodmate Dragon in this deck.
Oh my god, he just drew land Broodmate Dragon. Oh, he had enough land anyway. Broodmate Dragon, wow. Couldn't see the 6th lane hiding off the top of the screen, so...
Still has that Burrington Forge Tender that is going to peck away at him for the next 2 turns, though. He still has to find an answer to that.
He can't block it. It's true. Dragons, both dragons.
Although Jones is at 8. Jones is at 8. I did not... How... What... He fell...
Does he... So he can...
Unbelievable.
He could sack there. The Pithing Needle's not on Forge Tender. He could have sacked, given the Sculler Pro Red, and attacked for the win. He just missed the win. Right?
Is it... No, it's Prevent All Damage.
Oh, Prevent All Damage. It's not sack for Pro Red. Okay. Fair enough. So Forge Tender is lethal next turn thanks to the Pro Red. It only sacks for Prevent Damage, so...
You're at 8.
He's at 8.
You're at 8?
That means those 2 dragons are lethal.
Except that he's going to prevent all the damage from one of them.
Oh, except for the Borrington Forge Tender. But then at least the Forge Tender's gone, but that doesn't help because he has to attack with both the forces.
I know, it was
That does not matter. I mean, depending on what Gabe drew this turn.
Right, he can attack for 8 and force the Forge Tender to save... But then he dies to the crackback. He doesn't have a blocker.
Unless he has a Plume Veil or a Wall of Reverence.
Wait, it's... Yeah, Prevent All Damage, a red source of your choice would deal this turn.
You're at 8, right? Cool. Alright. Take it. Go.
Nassif is going to die exactly to that 1 point of Pro Red damage from the Forge Tender.
Unless the Broodmate Dragon, I don't have it in front of me.
Oh, the token. Matter. What color is the token? I'm sure it's got to be red, right?
Yeah.
It is a red dragon. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
By 1 point, by the last point of damage, Matteo Orsini Jones evens this at 1 game apiece. Crazy game.
Anything would have done it there.
Crazy game. Battling top decks like haymakers, right?
Yeah.
Nassif top decks, the Broodmate Dragon, Orsini Jones top decks, the Sculler, take it away. Crazy. The Volcanic Fallout came off the top. Wow. Really good game. Both players seemed to make all the right decisions, too.
Yep. It was, I mean, I thought... I was sure Nassif was done a long time before that actually played out.
Brian Robinson and Cedric Phillips have moved on to a second score sheet in Game 1. 60 plays 18.
Will there be
like Berlin all over again?
Will there be
with 300
power Predator Dragons coming out?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. They're threatening to outlast the Boat Brew Mirror.
Crazy. But yes. Boat Brew Mirror is at least into Game 2?
Yeah.
early in game 2. It's interesting. You've got 3 people playing their first Pro Tour in this top 8. Yamamoto, Tanahashi, and Brian Robinson are all kind of dueling for the early Rookie of the Year lead. The first Pro Tour usually gives you your Player of the Year leader, but we have a Rookie of the Year leader here too. Tanahashi, I guess, is looking at a tie as his best case scenario. But if he's already lost to LSV. If either Robinson or Yamamoto goes through to the semis, they're in pretty good shape for Rookie of the Year. Robinson's been playing forever.
Oh,
He's been playing PTQs, been playing Magic forever. Right? He's been having a fun game, and then finally managed to win a PTQ, manages to get here, manages to top 8. It's like a decade of PTQs have been leading up to this.
Scurried to book Honolulu travel apparently last night.
Yeah, no, I was talking to him about that, and yeah, he and his buddy were playtesting. So you've got the buddy playing Cedric Phillips Red White Kithkin deck in a PTQ today because he got a lot of practice with it last night helping out Brian. And meanwhile, yeah, Brian got on the phone. He's got one friend from Honolulu, so they're already making plans to sort of have the whole gang head to Hawaii for the PT. To get a word from Rich Hagon back in England that Matteo Orsini-Jones has apparently got a fan club that's staying up all night to watch Matteo here try to take down Gabe Nassif. Play the PTQ, turn on our webcast, I guess.
First English player to top 8 since Craig Jones?
I believe that's right.
In Honolulu?
Yeah, Quentin Martin in Prague would have been the one before that. I think that was before Honolulu.
I think so. Yeah.
Maybe it was after.
They're trying to get the band back together for Honolulu. I don't know if you've been following.
Oh, we're all the top 8 member. I know Osip won a PTQ.
And 2 weeks, and a week before that, Tiago Chan won a PTQ. So we just need Craig Jones to win a PTQ and Max Brack to get unsuspended, and we can get the band back together.
Put the same top 8. Do they have PTQs in Curacao?
They would be very, very tough, and I think Craig Jones would be in a rough spot if they did.
You could maybe make a run in Constructed.
Sure. It's a lot of Magic former. No one's a former Magic player.
No, I actually have heard a lot of. So the island of Curacao, there's a lot of people who have moved there to work for Pinnacle Sportsbook, and a lot of them are qualified for like one Pro Tour. They've got like the Pro Tour level where you can still come back to the Pro Tour. They're all looking at Honolulu. Like if you're going to pick one, so we may see a lot of those former guys all descend on the Pro Tour in Honolulu.
That was such a great Pro Tour.
The last PT Honolulu?
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
It was just absolutely. I had much more fun in Hawaii than I imagined, and I imagined I would have a lot of fun. I did. We had a great time. We stayed about a week afterwards.
Yeah, definitely one of the iconic experiences for a lot of people. I mean, the Beach House video. We still look at that. It's just such a fun thing. We moved to Honolulu for a month, play some Magic, and then he wins the Pro Tour out of the Beach House.
Playing the
not playing the same deck as everybody
contrarian,
else. He watched. Well, this guy solved the format. It's like, okay, that's what the format's about. I think I'll play this deck. Looks good. Meanwhile, Game 3 between Gabriel Nassif and Matteo Orsini-Jones. They're off. Both players lead with comes into play tap lands. Jones makes his decision on Windbreast Heights. Looks like that was a Johnny Gold game. Jones has got a hand with
a handful of disruption, right?
What?
Thoughtseize is the play.
Again, taking
and that's through a filter land. So he's got a white floating. So we see
it's amazing.
Plumeveil, Double Mull Drifter, Esper Charm, Wrath, Cryptic Command, and no more land. He is on 2 lands, no third land. That hand really needs a third land, not gonna lie.
And if it gets a third
3
land,
mana, 3 mana, 3 mana, 3 mana, 4/4. Yeah, that hand is totally fine with land number 3, and it is helpless without land number 3. All right, what do you take? Looks like
I'm gonna take the
Plume
Plume
Veil.
Veil.
I like that. That seems like the right play. Plume Veil could buy a lot of time potentially. So.
It's interesting how many hoops you need to jump
And
through.
now here's
for a
Forge
mana.
Tender.
Oh, no mana. There we go.
Yeah, no mana burn. Let's get the 4. There's land number 3 off the top,
Boom.
Good.
right where he needed it. Now what? Evoke Muldrifter? It's got to be the play, right? Or he can sit on Esper Charm.
I mean, there's no reason to be coy, though. I mean,
Right.
it's not like he doesn't know. Well, I mean, I guess
He
the
knows
reason
his hand.
for
Evoke.
Esper Charm, though, is then he does. You can do it. And
He can disenchant a Bitter Blossom is what he can do.
Yeah.
All right, and see, through the 3rd land he needed, he draws 2. Orsini Jones
He still has,
gets to untap.
doesn't know there's a Sculler in his future.
Yeah.
Forge Tender comes
Right,
over
yeah.
for 1. Now what?
And black, white, white.
Black, white, white. Thanks to the filter land. Here
With
comes
the
Tide Hollow Scholar with
with the come into play on the
Oh, with the comes into play on the stack, he pads his own Sculler. So now that Sculler activation is still sitting there on the stack.
the leave play triggers.
Right, the leave play triggers, doesn't give anything back. So whatever card Orsini Jones takes here is effectively removed forever.
Yeah. He gets it back for game 3, right?
He does get it back for game 4. Now, what do you take? Let's get Cryptic Command, Wrath, Esper Charm, and
You take the
Muldrifter.
Cryptic Command.
Takes the Cryptic Command. Yeah, that Scholar trick is something all the pros use whenever they get the chance. It's a
I
fairly common one.
one of my favorite turn 4 plays in Limited is Call to Heal.
Call to Heal, yeah. Call to Heal Scholar. Love that.
It's very good against Bill Stark and his slow-ass 5-color decks. Can I say slow?
I think you just did.
Exactly. Lowercase slow.
Evoke.
All right. Nassif evokes another Muldrifter.
Go.
And comes into play tap land. All right. Orsini Jones has come out and disrupted. All right. He managed to remove a Wrath. He managed to Thought Seize a Plume Veil. But not a lot of pressure. Just the Forge Tender chipping over for 1 apiece. Okay, here comes a Johnny Goldmane.
Get in for 2.
17.
Forge Tender now hits for 2.
Cards. 3.
Sounds like Brian Robinson's taken game 1 against Cedric Phillips
Yes,
at a
he has.
hearty 85 life.
85 life, and that's a tough
not even-
number for the red-white Kithkin deck
Yeah.
to hit.
Attack for 2.
30 is pretty good against the red-white Kithkin deck, right?
Attack for 2.
And is it Johnny's ultimate actually going to be relevant to this game?
I mean, there's not a lot of threats for Nassif to get into play that are going to whittle down its loyalty. And he kind of has to. Does he have to play a Muldrifter here?
Yamamoto has Elspeth in play with 5 counters against Jan Roos. He's threatening to go up 2-0. All right.
Yep. There we go.
Nassif summons Muldrifter. Makes sense.
Go.
2 cards and now a 2/2 flyer. Orsini Jones presumably going to turn Forge Tender into a 3/3.
Yep. Although that will put a Johnny down within
Yeah, if he does, if he goes for the counter on Forge Tender, then he can attack, but Muldrifter can kill a Johnny. We know there's a second Ajani under the Windbrisk Heights,
Right.
but we don't have 3 creatures in play. He's got a Knight of Metagrain in his hand. He can summon that to pick up another counter.
Yep. That sounds like what he's going to do.
Yeah, that seems right. Really wants a third creature, though.
Gain 2. Okay.
Nope.
Now he gains 2. And second Windbrisk Heights. Jones at 20. Oh, Scepter of Fugue is one of the choices. Bitter Blossom and Title's Sculler are also there. It's probably Sculler, right? And it goes for the Fugue.
Goes for the long game disruption.
Okay.
Go.
Again, this Thief still has Wrath of God in hand, so he can keep the Windbrisk Kite
Cards
from mattering for a little
six.
while.
Sure. So, attack with Muldrifter and peck away at a Johnny, or...
Attack with Muldrifter, play Broodmate Dragon.
Oh, does he have Broodmate Dragon now?
Yeah, it looks like he does.
That's good. That's a card that Black White Tokens deck doesn't have a lot of answers for at this point, right? I think Cedric Phillips is pretty happy in Game 2 that his opponent's down to 20. Losing Game 1, dealt 40 damage or something. Alright,
He really dealt enough damage probably in Game 1 to have won a normal top 8 match.
That's probably true. Alright, Muldrifter pecks away at 2 loyalty from a Johnny.
Go.
Gabe plays land number 6 and ships the turn. So I guess Gabe wants to sweep the board before committing Broodmate to it. Is that where we're at?
Take 4.
Orsini Jones attacks for 4. Does not use a Johnny's ability. I guess he wants to keep him alive. It seems like those Windbrisk Heights are really looming large in the way the players are playing this game, right? Orsini Jones just wants to kind of get to third and try to resolve those, and Seif wants to sort of play through that part of the game and sweep the board with his Wrath before that becomes relevant. Okay, here's Bitter Blossom. Here's where the name Permission comes from, right? Over the years, many White Weenie decks have said, please, sir, may I have this threat? And many Permission decks have stared across while the White Weenie player just gets angrier and angrier and angrier.
The quality of the threats in the White Weenie deck have just gotten so much better.
It's true. Yeah, there are always White Weenie decks. It's great. I mean, 15 years later, they're like, when the nuclear holocaust comes, I think there'll be cockroaches and White Weenie decks. That's about all that's going to survive.
Of your turn, I'm gonna Esper Charm the Bitter Blossom.
Yep. Letting the Seif do the play-by-play for us. EOT, Esper Charm away the Bitter Blossom.
Attack a Johnny.
Muldrifter attacks a Johnny. Johnny's loyalty, he's not feeling very loyal.
Yeah.
Might need
He's
to
on
go
the
back
fence.
to,
He's on the fence.
might need to go back to his plane.
Go.
Says there's no haste creatures in your deck. I'm not worrying about Windbrisk Heights just yet.
Exactly. Oh, path to exile.
Alright.
Orsini
Okay.
Jones,
I'll take the land.
yeah, wants to get rid of that Muldrifter and save a Johnny.
Isn't that what the Permission deck always wants to do?
Get a land. Yeah, I'm not sure Nassif is all that upset about this turn of events.
he knows the Wrath is there too.
Right, Rossini
No.
Jones saw Gabe's hand a long time ago. Both players know there's a Wrath of God there.
Here comes a Sculler.
Yep, here comes Tide Hollow Sculler. He's the right third creature to want to try to commit to the board.
Broken emissions.
4, 5.
There's
Good enough. Forge
Ooh.
Tender versus Infest. Interesting.
I'm gonna...
Yeah, Jones doesn't have a real decision since he's going to get milled for 4.
I'm gonna keep it too.
Nassif decides to keep
Yeah,
the extra
Nassif
Wrath.
keeps the extra Wrath effect. Sculler and a Thoughtseize were in that 4 cards that went to Jones's graveyard. So Jones cracks over for 4 and decides to gain 2 life with a Johnny.
So it looks like
For
Nassif will be able to
28. Yeah,
infest,
probably
Yep.
infest and dragon next turn.
Oh, is that right?
Cards?
Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 8 mana. Yeah. 9th land would set up Infest
I believe
plus
he's got the
Broodmate.
land.
Assuming he's got a land that doesn't come into play tapped in his hand.
No, that is a big assumption.
There are a lot of lands that come into play tapped in that deck. 11 Vivid lands.